daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Daily Manchester United. If you're listening to this, deadline day has been and gone. And as I'm recording this, at what time is it now? 9:45 on the night of. Not every deal has been got over the line. You see the window closed at 7 o'clock, British summertime. In the UK, it's actually not the UK, Scotland, it closed a little bit later, still open as I record this. However, in England, the window closed at 7 p.m. If you've got a deal sheet in, it extended the window by essentially 2 hours there. And even so, we're still getting deals that are coming through. So I thought it might be high time to see what happened on deadline day and essentially where we go from here. So we obviously knew that Mainu is staying at Manchester United. That was news just sort of after the last game, especially against Grimsby, that it was revealed that he wanted a loan move away to get more first team football. And Manchester United basically said, no, you're not leaving on loan or permanently, end of. So that was the end of that. Mainu is still in the side. And with Cunha out for what we know now as still a little bit up in the air time, looking at Ruben Amorim's comments made and on the Manchester United websites made on the 30th of August, Cunha was pulled up, clutching his hamstring during the first half at Old Trafford against Burnley. I've still got Grimsby on the mind, can you tell? And also Mount was taken off at the break as well, as Ruben Amorim later said that he was suffering with an injury. Amorim to Sky Sports said it was hard to lose Cunha and Mason Mount, as Mason Mount played 30 minutes with an injury. I'm concerned about that because they're important to us, so we'll see. I don't know how they are. I don't know. We will check them. We need these guys really badly to be really competitive, which, again, Mason Mount, yes, he's integral to the side. Cunha has also put in some decent performances at the start of this season. And yeah, we're still waiting an official word to see how long they will both be out for. And we shall see about that. There was actually an interesting one. Viktor Lindelof, who left Manchester United this season, or I should say at the beginning of this season, has actually signed for Aston Villa in this transfer deadline day. Yes, he joined Old Trafford in 2017 and left after spending 7 years at the club. Sorry, 8 seasons. I got the roads right in the end. Don't worry about it. It's late. But now he will join Aston Villa and look to see what he can do towards this. 31 years old. He made 284 appearances for Manchester United and scored 4 goals for the club. We just have to say we wish him all the best for the future, and hopefully he kicks on and has a good time at Aston Villa. But not too good. Not too good. Harry Amas. Niall will be devastated to hear this news. Niall, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. Harry Amas, he's gone to Sheffield Wednesday. Luckily, it's only a loan deal, but according to Manchester United, it is his first loan move away. And, of course, he has the prestigious Jimmy Murphy Young Player of the Year award that was awarded to him at the end of last season. And, well, we'll see how he gets on. We will certainly keep an eye on him at Sheffield Wednesday as he looks to really get some development, really get some first team football. And, of course, with the emergence of Dorgu, having signed him, we've also got Diego Leon, who's joined the club as well. It sort of meant that Harry Amas has just maybe bumped out to third choice, maybe even fourth choice, as Dalot could also play on the left-hand side. So it makes sense to loan him out and go from there. An interesting one as well, another loan out, but this time is for Hoyland. He joins Napoli on loan for the rest of the season in what has been reported, I'm looking at Transfermarkt, as a €6 million loan fee with now let me get this right. It is a mandatory purchase fee. However, it's on the back of if Napoli qualify for the Champions League. They will be forced to pay another €50 million, so about £43 million, if they secure Champions League qualification this season, and they will have to have Rasmus Hoyland. A good deal? I'm not so sure. Just shy of £50 million. I think he signed for just over $70 million, round about that gauge there. I find it hard to believe that Napoli won't get Champions League football, considering now they've got Rasmus Hoyland. They'll now have him join up with the likes of Scott McTominay and Kevin De Bruyne. I can't see them not making Champions League. So that almost feels like it is a goodbye for Hoyland. But we shall see how it all plays out over the course of this season. A bit disappointing, really. He really struggled last season. We all wanted to see him, press on. He's a young player who's got plenty of potential about him. But this move means that he's got another chance. And if he can kick on at Napoli, just like Scott McTominay has, and absolutely made the league his own and made himself onto the Ballon d'Or shortlist, have we mentioned that yet? I fully believe Hoyland can bounce back. He absolutely can. And now that he's was at Manchester United on his CV, it just means it's all the excuse to make it an even better career than it was. It just gives him all the excuse and nothing else to really wrap up, really. So good luck to Rasmus. I look forward to seeing what he can do at his new club. In the Premier League, he scored 14 goals in 62 appearances with 3 assists to his name as well. And it's an okay record in front of goal, isn't it? But it's not overly amazing, and it showed there. We struggled in the league. He struggled, especially last season, but he's already been at Serie A before. Of course, he moved from Atalanta to Manchester United for that roughly £70 million fee. He's gone now back to Italy, this time to Napoli, where he leaves, or at least he left Atalanta with 32 appearances in Serie A with 9 goals. He'll be hoping to add to that tally as he moves his way forward in his career. Anthony, meanwhile, is one that has now been permanently sold. He has made his deal to Real Betis permanent. He leaves for nearly £22 million. And according to Sky Sports News, the deal also includes a 50% sell-on clause. He did score 9 times in 26 games across all competitions on his loan appearance at Real Betis. And now he'll be looking to press on from that as, well, that leadership, I would say contribution to the Conference League run that Real Betis had all the way to the final until they were unfortunately absolutely smashed by Chelsea. It happens to the best of us, don't worry, Real Betis. But it does highlight something that, Anthony signed for £86 million. We've sold him for nearly 22. It's a loss of £64 million. Not ideal, but he does have a 50% sell-on clause. So if there's any sort of, phoenix rising from the ashes in terms of, his development, if he makes another move to a good club, then there's no reason why he wouldn't be able to, get us a good fee further down the line. Will he get us will he ever be worth 80, 90 million again? I don't know, but this is our time to find out, eh? This is our time to find out. Oh, we'll see. Let's see. We've also got, you can see I'm clicking around here because I've got so many tabs open to try and keep on top of everything. Villa, though, not only did they sign Viktor Lindelof on a free after he left Manchester United, but they have also signed Jadon Sancho on loan from Manchester United for the season. And it's understood, says Sky Sports News, that Villa will pay a loan fee. It doesn't say how much, but 80% of his wages during his time at Villa Park this season. As he's in the final year of his contract, it's fair to say that this is Jadon's chance, really, to secure a move post Manchester United on a free transfer. So we'll see. There is an option to extend the United contract by a further 12 months coming to the end of the season. I doubt we're going to extend that. I doubt the club will trigger that extension clause, but I've seen stranger things happen at this club, so it wouldn't completely surprise me. It's mad to think that Jadon Sancho's only 25 years old. He arrived in, what was it? I did have to look there. Summer 2021 for about 71 million pounds. And it's been, he was on loan at Chelsea last season. He had a handful of decent games. He started off last season quite well, a couple of assists to boost it off, but I don't think he really hit the ground running. And for a player who's 25 years old, who should have his career ahead of him, absolute star at Borussia Dortmund, both when he was there permanently and when he went back on loan. Do you remember that a couple of years ago? He went back on loan there, did quite well. And you just sort of think maybe that was the catalyst to kick on, but not this time. So much so that Chelsea paid a £5 million penalty to send him back to United after his loan and not make the deal permanent. But it turns out, according to Sky Sports, that Chelsea were in talks with Jadon Sancho to perhaps have him back on loan for another season, but talks broke down after salary negotiations. They said that Chelsea wouldn't fit. Sancho's salary wouldn't fit in their wage structure. And not to fit in at Chelsea's wage structure is quite a statement. That's for sure. Happy to be in Villa's wage structure, though. 80% of his wages. That's a huge amount. Huge amount. We shall see. We'll see how he gets on. And, well, I was hoping that by the time I finished that sort of spiel about what really happened on deadline day, I would have seen a certain goalkeeper, a certain Belgian goalkeeper appear, because in the last week and a half or so, there has been that sort of, well, what would you call it? The link for Lamans here for around £19 million. And the latest we heard was from Daniel Kahn from Sky Sports News at the Manchester United training ground, who said Senna Lamans has been in Manchester all afternoon undergoing his medical before putting pen to paper on a 5-year contract for £18.2 million from Standard Liège. He goes on to say that the initial approach United made just over a week and a half ago clearly demonstrated that serious interest in him. United have been exploring their options in that position for some time, and goes on to mention that they considered other goalkeepers, including Emiliano Martinez, but they ultimately decided to go for Lamans. Now, I have not seen any confirmation of Lamans as I am recording this, and I am really trying to go through all of the sort of, well, all of the avenues, I guess. The official Manchester United website, give that a refresh, see if his face appears and he's holding a shirt up. Will it be the number one? I don't know, probably not. And yeah, I again, it's going to be all sorts of, well, no. The move for Sancho's on the website, but not the move for Lamans coming into the club. So it's been an interesting one. £3 billion has been spent in this window. £3 billion. It's a record, according to Sky Sports News. And, well, has it been a good one? I think in terms of players leaving the club, we've mentioned about, Rashford joining on loan to Barcelona, Jadon Sancho joining on loan now to Villa. We've also got Anthony leaving permanently now to Real Betis. I think when we come back after the break, we'll have a sit down and review, and maybe Lamans will pop up. I don't know. I have no idea at this point. I would have thought if it was going to be at any time, it's going to be at some point this side of midnight. I'm not too sure, but let's have a wait and see. I'll be back after this.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Your body is unique. Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bionic, the world's most personalised supplements. Bionic provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bionic. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Senna Lamans, according to David Ornstein, this was about 10 hours ago, which I know doesn't help in the context of when you're listening to the episode, but let's just say 10 a.m. on the day before you're reading this, the 1st of September, saying that apparently they've reached a deal. And I say that, hello, I've just looked here, Sky Sports have now confirmed it. There you go. Manchester United at 10 o'clock on the night. We have signed Senna Lamans from Royal Antwerp. The deal's worth around £18.2 million plus add-ons, and now is a Manchester United goalkeeper. Now, I was saying for Tom Heaton to be Manchester United number one, but with Senna Lamans there, we shall see. According to Sky Sports, no keeper made more saves in Europe's top 10 leagues last season than Lamans himself, and he had one of the highest goals prevented metrics in Europe. Now, how much of, XG prevented and how the XG philosophy, that's easy for me to say, how much of that you believe in is up to you. But it's an indication of how good of a shot stopper he is. And it's hopefully a chance for him to impress. He's at 23, so he will make him the youngest, I believe, the youngest keeper in our lineup, because Altay is, I think, 27, 28. Anana's around about that same age, 26, 27, I think. And then you've got Tom Heaton, we found out last week, at 39, to confirm that. So, I was waiting on that one. It had to be an ad break, didn't it? Of course it did. But we've got a brand new, shiny new goalkeeper for £19 million. And finally, that's a little bit of, I think, a sensible price. According to David Ornstein, when he reported, I was about to say 10 hours ago, 10 a.m. on the 1st, is that there's no sell-on. So, whatever he's worth in the future is hopefully ours to keep. But there are add-ons, unspecified add-ons. Now, here's the thing, I'm not going to say I know a lot about Senna Lamans. I didn't know a lot about David De Gea before he joined Manchester United, and look how that went. So I'm happy to give him a chance, and let's see what happens going into this. And I was going to come in and say, let's have a look at all of the players that have come in and out. We've obviously mentioned a couple from previous episodes, but our ins, Mateus Cunha from Wolves, Diego Leon from Cerro Porteño, Brian Mbermo from Brentford, Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig, and now Senna Lamans from the Belgian club of Royal Antwerp joins the side. And those are our signings. So working that out, that's probably nearly £250 million. It's a lot of money, but let's see what happens there. And on the outs then, there's quite a few outs. We'll go through the notable ones. Of course, we had Christian Eriksen being released. We had Johnny Evans retiring. Garnaccio was one I also didn't mention in the previous. Yes, he went to Chelsea. He confirmed that before the deadline day. And, well, on his Instagram, he did say the following: "Dear Manchester, after an unforgettable 5 years, this special chapter in my life now comes to a close. We've created moments that will stay with me forever, and I'm very grateful for this. The coaches, staff, and my teammates, thank you for believing in me. Every time I wore the badge, I gave everything I had. I leave proud of what we achieved together and excited for what's to come. Wishing the club nothing but success for the future, while I look forward to give all my all in the next chapter of my career." It's hard to think, and it's hard to place sentiment on how I feel about Garnaccio. I thought he was a very, very bright player, very exciting player. And I just... do I regret? No, I don't think so. I think... will United regret this? Probably. Look, it's a United transfer out. Of course, we're going to regret it. Garnaccio will come up against us, say, in an FA Cup semi-final, and it'll be, he will score 4, 5, 6,000 goals. You see, I'm being, I'm doing dramatic overkill if you couldn't tell. But I think, 93 appearances in the Premier League, 16 goals, 10 assists. I mean, it's an okay return. But for an attacking winger, someone who needed to be lighting up the left or right-hand side wherever he played, there was, under Ten Hag, he was played on the left, he was played on the right. It seemed like his stronger side was his left, he being able to try and cut in. But I think there were moments in some matches where Garnaccio wanted to take the chance on himself. And that's great for a young player. And I've said it on previous episodes last season, especially, that it's great for a young player to take on challenges. It's great to be selfish at times. There's nothing wrong with being selfish in some occasions. But there are some when the angles are against you and there's an open pass to your right-hand side or an open pass to your left-hand side. And sometimes you've just got to make that pass. Sometimes there's something about it. I think he is a talented player. I think he'll be okay at Chelsea. They've got an overabundance of wingers now going in there. But I can't see it being a bad move. It was reported around 46.2 million euros according to Transfermarkt. So we're probably looking at just above £40 million for Garnaccio. And if I'm not mistaken, that will probably... he did come from Atletico Madrid. So I'm not sure how that sort of PSR works there. But we signed him on a free potentially. So I don't know. We'll have to sort of ask the experts on that one. What we do know is he sold for about £40 million to Chelsea. It does hurt that he's gone to Chelsea, but we'll see. I can't say I'm overly distraught, but I also can't say that it doesn't leave a bitter taste. It's a what could have been. Garnaccio could have been a really great player in this United team, but it didn't work. And now we'll see what he does at Chelsea. And that's all we can do at this point. So he leaves for Chelsea. Anthony leaves for Real Betis. Rasmus Hoyland leaves on loan to Napoli, with that deal becoming permanent if Napoli make it into the Champions League. Viktor Lindelof went to Aston Villa after his contract expired and he was released by the club. Marcus Rashford has gone on loan to Barcelona. Ethan Wheatley, Toby Collier and Harry Mass have all gone on developmental loans. Ethan Wheatley's gone to Northampton, Toby Collier has gone to West Brom, and Harry Amas has gone to Sheffield Wednesday. Of course, we already knew Johnny Evans has retired, but he is now with the backroom staff, I believe as a loan manager potentially. So that's an interesting one. So Wheatley, Collier and Amas potentially reporting to Johnny Evans. Mad world. We know that Christian Eriksen left as well, the club, and Daniel Gore has also gone out on a loan to Rotherham. And now, not that loan to Rotherham. It scratched that because he's an arrival back. So I'm not sure on that one. Anyway, what it does mean though is we spent nearly £250 million. It's not quite £250 million. It is €250 million, but it's not quite £250 million. We're probably looking in the range of about 210 to 220 million pounds that we've spent in this window. It's an interesting one. It is. How would you rate the transfer window? How would you rate our deadline day? I think deadline day has been more about moving players on than it has bringing players in. And we'll see how it all plays out. But Senna Lamans being confirmed tonight. He is a Manchester United keeper for less than £20 million. We'll see how he gets on. Does he get the nod in our next game? Well, of course, he's got a bit of time to wait because we've got the international break coming up. Boo, international breaks. Yeah, I know, but apparently they're important. So we kind of have to let them go and do their thing. But will he be given the nod when we go back to playing football for the Manchester Derby on Sunday, the 14th of September, away to the Etihad? God, that would be a baptism of fire, wouldn't it? But if he is a good shot stopper, and Sky Sports are saying that he's a very progressive keeper, most successful progressive passes in the league, I believe, last season in the Belgian Pro League, see how he gets on. But let us know, how did Manchester United do in this window? Give it a rating out of 10. Who are you most excited to see at the club now that the transfer window has slammed shut? Are there any players that you regret? Maybe we didn't sign. Maybe we have signed and you think, why did we do that? Let us know in the comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to chat to you all about the transfers. Yes, I had to hold on for the goalkeeper transfer, but I had to know if it had to happen, and it did. And luckily I was recording as we did it. You could see, maybe if you were watching me on YouTube as well, you could see the light up in my eyes as this beam of yellow flashed on my face on the other screen. By the way, if you do want to see reactions like that, you can follow us and subscribe to us, I should say, on our YouTube channel. It's GSPN Daily Man United Podcast. It's so long, so you have to remember it. And you can watch all of those podcasts there if you fancy listening and watching. If you fancy just listening along and you don't care to see anybody's faces, especially mine, you can listen to us on Apple and Spotify. Make sure you do subscribe and follow on each platform so that you're notified when an episode goes live. So you can click the notification and it takes you straight to the episode for your listening pleasure. As I said, you can join our conversations. We're on most social media. We're on X and Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook and we're on TikTok, all as at GSPN Man United. We look forward to joining you in the conversation. Well, the window's slammed shut now. I'm not expecting any more transfers. Here's the part where I fall asleep and somehow before midnight we get another transfer over the line. I'm not expecting it. I'm calling it there. Thank you so much for listening and watching along to this one. We've got an international break coming up, so there's lots of different content to be getting your teeth sunk into. And we look forward to bring you that content. In the meantime, have a great rest of your day. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.